I want us to go on a little journey through history so that you guys can see all of the weird and wonderful ways that we've been told to lose weight. We're going to start at the 1900s because I'm not going to lie, it was all a bit fucking weird before then. Although actually, to be fair, it didn't start off much better in the 1900s. Let's have a look. Yeah, so women didn't really have a lot to do in the early 1900s. I mean, their job was kind of just to pop out babies and look sort of hot. And back then, the style of looking hot was wearing a corset. And just in case you can't read it, the corset on the right says it's the only corset made that will properly reduce stout figures to correct proportions. So yeah, even back then, you really did have to look a specific way for the fucking fashion of the day. Although, to be fair, you do kind of have to admire their, just no fucking about way of advertising. Yeah, I mean, there's zero ambiguity in what's not cool in Victorian body beauty standards. So yeah, apparently this soap acts like magic in reducing double chins, abdomen, ungainly ankles, unbecoming wrists, arms and shoulders, large busts, or any superfluous fat on the body. So yeah, it's nice to see unrealistic beauty standards have always been with us. It's like a what's hot and what's not of the 1900s. So I suppose I could kind of be persuaded to try fat loss soap, but I am drawing the line at tapeworms. I mean, how do you tell them little fuckers to get out of you once you've hit goal weight? Do you show your I've hit target weight loss certificate to whatever body orifice makes most sense? Coming into the 20s wasn't the best time for the weight loss market. What with, war just ending, depression just starting, and woe-betide women if they looked like they were poor and starving. So this time we were encouraged to look like we were well fed. Oh, and the answer to this pancake question for me is always shitloads. Just in case you were wondering. But don't you worry, it didn't take society long to get back on track with telling us the new and exciting ways we could shrink ourselves. Smoking was probably not their healthiest plan though. Although, if a doctor says so. Also, it's good to see the doctors then knew about as much as they do now about weight loss and nutrition. Not hating, just stating. Oh my god, that made me sound like the most middle class gangster. Okay, but here's one of the kinder dieter suggestions that I came across. So 1939 brought us the bread diet. I'd be well happy with that. Love me some toast. And the 1940s brought us diet food and creepy adverts. And if we're lucky, like this one, in the same print space. But also, this was when the first diet pills were invented and started to be prescribed by doctors, and you could get them through mail order. Although it was probably wiser just not to ask what was in them. Although if society is telling you that you had to be on life-threatening pharmaceuticals just to lose fat, I mean, you might as well be speeding your tits off. I'm joking. Don't do drugs, kids. And then by the time the 1950s hit, we have our first wave of home fitness equipment. So this was anything from fat massages to workout records to whatever the fuck a normalizer is. Is it wrong that I think this advert is hilarious, that it suggests that unless you look like Adonis or Venus, you need to be normalized? Oh fuck, wait, we did pretty much the same thing now. Oh, and speaking about comparing our bodies to celebrities and the folks that we see in adverts, because we all surely want to look just a little bit lovelier. Now this is where the diet industry starts to proper fly. I mean, it's got all the components in place. We've got the diet food, we've got the equipment, we've got the celebrities. So inevitably, let's welcome the diet plan. Now even using before and after photos. Although actually, they're kind of different from our before and after photos now because she's smiling at both of them. Huh, who knew that you could be happy at any weight? And why not try losing weight with AYDs or AIDS? Look, this was 1952, so I'm pretty sure that was just a really unfortunate name choice. Now let me just try and talk over the noise of the massive font just to draw you to the fact that even in 1953 they fucking knew dieting sucked. So they started to sell you diets that abso-fucking-lutely weren't diets. You know, kind of like they still do now. But as women, we can never forget that boys rarely have a propensity towards girls with such immensity. So push on towards unrealistic body goals with methods that don't work, we must. Come on ladies, we've got this. So by this point, most of the building blocks to what you now know as the modern diet industry are in place. The only thing that they're missing is the science. So let's throw some of that in there as well. But just like today, it depends on who you listen to as to which is the science you should be listening to. I mean, maybe it's calorie counting. Helped by food as gross looking as this so you don't even want to eat it. Or maybe it was about fixing our digestive systems with breakfast cereal, because apparently we were into different drugs back in the day than we are today. Or it could even be protein, mixed with a healthy dose of, if you haven't got the same size waist as a 15-year-old, you're failing as a woman. Ah no, wait, it's because we need more sugar. Wait, or less sugar. Yeah, no, that must be right, because that woman is eating less sugar and she looks happy on the scales, even though her outfit is literally made out of tin. But remember, whatever method we choose, let's just make sure that we keep comparing ourselves to people who have the thin genetics and whose full-time job it is to stay thin. Because we all know that there is no one healthier than a celebrity. Bollocks! But now, welcome to the 1970s, which can always be trusted to ramp up the ridiculous. Not gonna lie though, I would totally wear these, not just out, but out. And you know, we all love some moral judgments thrust onto us when we feel a little bit peckish. And if by now none of that has made you feel like you need to lose a little bit of body fat, then let's just chuck in some casual racism too. I mean, why not? For fuck's sake. Okay, but the 80s and 90s were much more sensible. It was way back to the classic, if you're thinner, you'll look better, you'll have more fun, you'll have more friends, and you'll be all around happier. So just make sure you're thinner, yeah? And you're going to achieve all this with a diet program. And oh look, marketing has now started to go hardcore on these people look like you and they can fucking do it. So that means you can too. And if you can't do it, that's your fault, not ours. See? Look at them doing it. But then in the 2000s, two really important things happened which helped to mould our modern diet industry. So the first thing is that loads of studies started to come out to say that long-term dieting just doesn't fucking work. The second thing that happened was that a whole bunch of, in fact, most diet pills were completely banned from most countries, and that's because just too many people died. So because poison and speed are now kind of frowned upon to be sold by the diet industry, they've had to come up with something new. So they now have natural superfoods from, you know, undiscovered herbs and spices from deepest, darkest, wherever the fuck. Spoiler alert, they work just as well as if you sprinkled them onto a unicorn's ass on a full moon. They don't work, whatever their studies might try and tell you. Luckily though, very few people get sucked into this whole magical pill bollocks. But actually shitloads of you genuinely do get tempted by it's not a diet thing. Because we all know that diets don't work, so the marketing companies play on that. Because a company would be stupid to try and sell you a diet, what with all the science and the studies that have come out about diets. So now they're not going to sell you a diet, they're going to sell you a system. Or a plan. Or my personal favourite, healthy habits or wellness or fucking lifestyle changes. Or when they specifically tell you, oh, do you know what? You can carry on eating all the foods that you still love and still want to eat. Guess what? These are all still fucking diets. Even the most famous diet club in the entire world, Weight Watchers, has now dropped the word weight from its title. It's stopped trying to sell you a diet while still selling you a diet. So it turns out that the only thing that's different in the past 1,000 years of the diet industry is that we're now not legally allowed to sell you tapeworms or speed. But what happens if they had it wrong from the very beginning? What happens if your body fat percentage actually has no impact on your health or your happiness or the quality of your life? So what would happen if we change the rhetoric? What would happen if we change the paradigm? So now we start focusing on the quality of your life and your happiness rather than any fucking superficial thing like body fat. Let's start working on that bit first, and then whatever happens with your appearance will happen, because that's not going to impact your life in a significant way. What is going to impact your life in a significant way is fucking living it and having fun. So let's do that instead, shall we?